Greetings and salutations, friends and benefactors. My name is Cami Quandary, and welcome to Questable. Today we will be doing individual session zeros for our wonderful cast as individuals before we do one party session zero to bring them all together and get them ready to head off into our first campaign, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. With me to start things off today is the first of my lovely adventurers, our group name pending, Dustin.
Hello.
All right. So, Dustin, go ahead and just give us an overview of who you're going to be playing for us today.
Yes, today I'm going to be playing Zoe. She is a forge cleric, and she's a bit of a small town girl in a big city for the first time. Been there a little while, and she is very curious about everything and will ask a lot of questions.
Wonderful. So we'll get to a more detailed description of her later. So for the people at home, one more time, what are your pronouns for us?
My pronouns are he, him.
Mine are they, them. And without further ado, we're going to get started with our session zero for Waterdeep Dragon Heist. We find ourselves in the city of Waterdeep, a magnificent, sprawling coastal city with hundreds of years of storied history. Mountainous monuments, large wards with walls, a sprawling memorial garden to those that have passed. If you will liken it to something like DC, Detroit, and New York City with a little bit of Gotham, little bit of underworld going on here. It is the 21st day of Eliant, better known as Bright Sword, or as we would attribute it in our world, the autumnal equinox, or fall equinox for those of us that are a little bit less cultured. The winds have begun to pick up through Waterdeep. The city is starting to wake up as the sun rises over the east. As Waterdeep is on the western coast of our fair country on the Sword Coast, the sun rises up over the mountains and over the fields out east where most of the food is stored. We pan down through the city, through some more humble places, and we find a young cleric just waking up in her bed wherever she has found rest. She's not been in the city long.
No, just a few months.
Just a few months. So if you could just please describe your character for us.
Yes. If you pan in, you would see a girl, very young, sort of in that she's out of her full teenage phase, but just sort of trying to get her bearings as a fully grown adult, so to speak. Long auburn hair that is usually in a full tight braid that hits her about mid-back, but now it is long and loose and hitting her near her tailbone. She is not a tall girl. She's about 5'8", and very, very muscular. Though you can't see it underneath her tunic.
5'8" is fairly tall for a lady.
Good point. I as Dustin am 5'4", 5'5" on a good day. So
your personal scale is just a smidgen skewed.
Just a bit. Tiny bit. So yeah, you see her waking up in her tunic and stretching, giving her usual head roll stretch out of the bed, and she immediately hops out of bed and starts doing some of her neck rolls, wrist extensions, warming up, and then she does about a good 10-15 minutes of kind of calisthenics in her tiny little room that she has rented. Some push-ups, some crunches, just gets her brain going, gets herself focused a little bit in the morning.
More than I do.
She has a kind of some would call her pretty, some would call her handsome, plain. She's got a cute little button nose. She has sort of a dreamer's hazel eyes, though. They tend more toward the green variant. So she gets moving, putting on all of her clothes, still in her mostly blue variants of tunic and brown trousers that she has left over from her stint at Candlekeep. And yeah, when she's done with that, she will hop out her door and head towards her favorite coffee place for her morning breakfast.
As she heads out the door, she notices that the wind has begun to pick up, as it is rumored to do in the autumn here. As she's putting on her outfit, she does go back to her memories at Candlekeep. Candlekeep University, for those at home, is a place within the D&D world. We're not going to call it like somewhere else because we don't want to give that person money, but it is a great wizarding school, kind of like a grad school almost, or college of specifically wizarding lore, spell work, and other things. There's a whole module, I believe, called Candlekeep Mysteries.
Yes.
That, we might get around to do at some point because we've got history. You hop out the front door. There's a little street vendor handing out. You notice that they are chocolate-covered bananas, but they're shaped like little swords. Bright swords, as the autumnal equinox, is when the City Watch and the City Navy and the City Guard and all the different militia within the city of Waterdeep, including the Griffin Cavalry, get together. They do wonderful parades and demonstrations of mock battles. There's a tournament in the Great Triumph, which is the arena in Waterdeep. And then to round things out at sunset, the Griffin Cavalry does beautiful demonstrations in the air. As a blacksmith, or rather a forge, or an apprentice blacksmith, I should say, we're not quite there with you yet.
Yes.
You take a special interest in this day in Waterdeep because this is when the City Guard and Watch kind of show off their newer items, the new armor, the bright shiny swords and things like that. It's very rare that a lot of the artisans and the smiths within the city get the opportunity to blend fashion and function to this kind of extreme. So everyone pulls out all the stops, and getting to see that or even be part of it, heaven granting, would be a boon. So I believe that Zoe would be very keenly interested in scoping out the best place to watch these demonstrations or get a little close so she can jot some notes.
She had spent the previous week leading up scouting out the places and looking for the perfect spot to run to the moment that she is off work and ready with her research done.
Wonderful. So with that, we're going to give you your first roll of the whole campaign, and we're also going to introduce one of our very special mechanics for Dustin's character. We're going to call this your hyperfixation save.
Yes. Okay.
So the way that you do this is very simple. It is a wisdom saving throw against your own wisdom score.
Okay.
That is the start. If you fail, the difficulty will go up. If you succeed, the difficulty will go down.
Okay. So. All right. So this is against my modifier, or against my total score.
Your total score.
My total score. Okay, so it's a 16.
Yeah. Save against yourself on a 16 right off the gate.
That'll be a nice whopping 8.
Whopping 8. Okay. So, what were Zoe's plans other than scoping out places today?
Her plans today were get up, exercise, which she did,
Mhm.
grab some breakfast at her favorite coffee shop, and go to work, and then do some research at the Zorstar, the local place for research.
Okay. She is going to have only enough time to do about one of those. With the hyperfixation, her time management has kind of gotten away from her, and she spends a little bit too much time at breakfast this morning jotting down her own little, okay, at this time I'm going to go from here to here, and then when this demonstration is here, it's very in the spirit of congoers plotting the best route through everything on which day, or the theme park family that has a plan of attack. She ends her hyper focus on that, and she realizes she's spent far too much time at breakfast.
Okay, so if I watch the joust first, then I can zip on over and I can see the new parade with the new armors. Oh, it's got to have the embossed design that I think Halleck was working on. Oh, I can't believe, how does he write that gold in there? Anyway, yes, and then if I swing around to see the Navy display, not too much on that. Oh, and then there's the sword display, and the mock battle, and then there's the griffins, and...
Dearie.
Yeah. The croissants were so good today, by the way. Did you use extra butter?
Did you ask about butter? Did you talk awful fast, honey?
This is one of the proprietors of the establishment. Older gnomish woman. She comes over to you. She's kind of given herself a pair of hydraulic lifts so she can look most people in the eye. Also, because she's old for a gnome, and she wants to be able to get up and go, and she'll be darned if someone else is going to serve in her damn shop. So she walks over and she goes, honey, and she kind of taps your coffee cup, and it's half full and stone cold.
Oh.
I'm gonna need the table, honey. You've been here for about 4 hours now.
I'm sorry, how long?
About 4 hours. It's going on noon, sweetie.
Oh, okay. I need to hurry up in
Was you
case
doing homework or something? Do you need help? I'm a handy at engineering and the maths and stuff.
Oh, well, actually, this is more planning my day plus historical thing. Did you know? And she starts to launch into a tale about Silver Brightblade, who was one of the biggest champions of bright swords.
Go ahead and give me
a
performance check.
Okay. Performance.
Oh, you gotta beat the 9. It's a contested. Oh no, a 3? Ha! We got some story dice in the house today, folks.
The dice want to tell a story tonight.
So you get to the guy's name, and the first thing she goes, yeah, I learned about him in high school, honey. I need the table back.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, sure. Oh no. She grabs the coffee and she slams it back down and honks the rest of her blood. I'm really sorry, and she starts to bust her own table and move over to
the lady just kind of waves her hands. The dishes elevate. She waves her other hand, and they press the digitize the soil off of them. And she says,
"Just go, honey. It's fine."
Okay. And she just, all of her 5'8" muscular frame just slams up out of the table and she bolts out the door.
Awesome. So where does she head?
She is very much in White Rabbit mode. I'm late, and she is heading to the smithy where she is currently working, and incorrigibly late for work.
Very. Let's do me a favor. Roll me a D10.
D10. Okay, high contrast dice for me today. Okay, D10. That's out of the drain. That's a 1, because a 0 is a 10. That's a 1.
Is your 1?
It's a 1.
So you were only 1 hour late for work.
I feel like I'm kind of doing the run by the door, skid past the door and grab onto the ledge, boom, jump in.
Go ahead and just remind us what your mentor's name is.
Yes, my mentor's name is Conic.
Conic, there we go. So many people. We'll get there, folks. So Conic, as you slide in, is mid-rhythm. He's got his trusty blacksmith hammer in one hand. He's got his gauntlet gripped around a piece of steel. He seems to be fleshing out a falchion or a slightly curved blade or something. He's in the middle of hammering out a current fold. Doesn't even look at you as you pull up, just keeps hammering.
Zoe kind of looks around, reaches for her leather apron, kind of stealthily tries to put it on.
Roll me a stealth check since you said it.
She's not wearing her armor, so no disadvantage.
Right. Clank, clank, clank.
Right. Clerics are not the stealthiest bunch.
Yeah.
6.
Let's see if he notices you.
Zoe's having it. She's having a day.
That's a 14 on the dice. So Karnik just stops one swing, goes, "You're late." Ding, ding, ding.
She mutters in Dwarvish a hopefully good apology.
He listens to it. Goes, I'm not the one that's falling behind. Ding. Ding. Ding.
Any special orders today, given the,
You know where the order board is, don't you?
Yeah.
Ding. Ding.
I think after that she will go take a look at the order board and see how much work she has left to catch up on.
You've got 2 full orders to fulfill that are due in about an hour. One of them is just a basic, essentially a Corinthian helm.
Okay.
Full metal work, and then another one is fixing some ring mail.
Ooh, okay.
But it's made from gold.
Ooh.
So ring mail is typically a piece of leather that has rings affixed to it, rings of metal affixed to it for a very specific kind of armament. And roll me... let's call this an insight check.
Ooh, okay. Alright, come on. Insight, clerics. Okay. That would be a natural 1.
You don't understand why someone would want to try to waste your time with a very soft metal on a rush order on the day of bright swords. So you
Totally
focus,
impractical.
So you focus on the Corinthian helm.
Yes.
And you get that done in time, and as you're picking up the ring mail to start, you've only got 15 minutes. And it is aged. It hasn't been worn. It is stiff. This is ceremonial armor that has been sitting on a stand for months or even years.
So I've only got about 15 minutes
You
left.
got 15 minutes, and this is going to take elbow grease and maybe a prayer.
Speaking of a prayer, can I use a feature of my Forge cleric called Blessing of the Forge to I can imbue magic into a weapon or armor by touching a non-magical version. Until my next long rest, it acts as a +1 weapon or a +1 set of armor.
You don't happen to have the mending cantrip, do you?
I do.
By utilizing both of those things, I will say, roll me... Just call me a flat D20 luck check.
D20 luck check.
Yeah, just see how good this is.
You have all betrayed me so far. Which one of you is going to do it again?
Would you like one of mine?
I'm going to stick with it. Nope. These things are telling a story, and we're going to see where that
see what
story
happens.
goes. That'd be another 6.
Oh, no.
Svarog is not happy with my performance, apparently.
What would have been the first thing she focused on?
First thing she would focus on would be if there were any links that were too soft, like if they had been bent, out of shape, or snapped and need to be re-cinched.
So, with the combination of your feature and your cantrip, you get it to good enough to wear.
Okay.
And now it's shiny, but it is not where you would want someone to paint your picture in it yet. Like it's good enough to make an appearance publicly, but it's not. It's like a C. It's like a C+ work at this point, because again, it's very rushed. Magic can only do so much work that handiwork cannot.
Yeah.
So you dump your focus into this, you throw your magic, and you call on the power of your deity. Remind us who you pray to.
Yes, she prays to the smith god Svarog.
Svarog, yes.
Svarog.
Slavic's forge god.
Slavic Hephaestus, basically.
Cool.
Yeah.
The fire fuels up. You feel that familiar warmth of his presence. He speeds your hands. He guides you a little bit, and you get it to as good as you can in 15. The person walking in to get the Corinthian helm is just typical member of the City Watch, is like one of their quartermasters. It's part of the typical inventory item list you see. There's like 16 identical ones that Korik?
Korik. cleric.
Had already finished prior to. He was just giving you the finals to finish.
Yeah.
This was the only special order that you were given. And you see a rather daunting dwarf walk in, old. And he has so many braids and trinkets, not only in his beard, but in his hair, which is down past his back, past his waist. It is stark white. Some of it is almost in plaits. It is so matted and twisted together. And he limps in several places. And you see a giant guard's badge.
Zoe physically holds back a squee, like a kind of a fangirl squee, just because of she has full reverence for dwarves, given that was who kind of her second dad at Candlekeep taught her how to like bang a hammer, and she knows that this is someone due all as reverence as possible.
He walks in, he kind of looks at the place, walks right up to Karik, grabs his elbow mid-swing, and says, "Your technique's gotten sloppy in the past 100 years." Karik just stops and he goes, "Hello, Slacken." And it's been 120, and he pulls his hand, and he turns and does something you've not seen your mentor do in a while. He actually bows to this man. Not a large one, just a good 45-degree angle.
So he bows deeper?
He goes, "You want to finish it since you're mocking my technique?" He goes, "Well, let me see what we got here. Oh, this thing!" Brings the hammer down as it alights with arcane energy. And you sense that he has blessed whatever your mentor is working on. The relationship between the two of them is frighteningly familiar in that it reminds you of you and your own mentors. You sense this is the man that taught your master.
She still hasn't come up from her bow. She's kind of like doing the look up the eyebrows kind of thing.
Who's that coward in the corner? Who are you? You come here. Are you bowing because I'm shorter than you?
No. Not
I'm
at all.
just playing with you, kid. Nice to meet you. I'm Slacken.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Zoe.
Pleasure. Are you the one that he's been helping with around here?
Yes. Kind of does a quick little. There's nobody else here. Yes, that's me.
All right. Calm down, child. He's a very eager one, this one. You got me ordered for the parade. They roped me back into walking with the old brigade. I retired 15 years ago and they still want me to lead the damn parade. I used to be one of the city guard.
I could tell by your medallion, sir.
Yeah, I was one of the rapid, oh, what's the term now? SWAT? Yeah.
Oh, yes.
That one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was us. The shield wall. Those were wonderful days. And you watch as he kind of gets a little misty-eyed and lost in his little personal daydream of his glory days.
Can Zoe able to discern that the chainmail is probably what?
The ringmail is for him.
Zoe's stomach drops about 4 feet.
So who's got me ordered? I've got an hour before the festivities. Did you do it? He likes to give the pet projects to his mentees.
Yes, and she just the biggest kicked puppy dog look ever. He can't even look him in the face, holding up the ringmail.
Oh, lassie.
I got fixated on the helmet. I didn't have as much time as I would have liked.
I didn't ask for excuses, now did I?
No, sir.
You don't need to call me sir. It's all right. This isn't bad. How long did it take you to do this?
About 15 minutes.
He drops it. You did all that in 15 minutes.
Yes?
I couldn't do that in twice that time when I was your age. How'd you do? Hold on. Magic. That's how. Who'd you...
She kind of gently lifts up a small necklace of a depiction of an egg with flames around it.
Ooh, I've not seen that in a long time. Well. He kind of hefts it onto the table. You want to help me make it perfect?
She can't even speak. She just nods emphatically.
All right, grab the oil. Don't maybe wait. We're gonna get this baby going. All right. And he summons what you can tell is an arcane weapon. You've seen him conjure enough magic. You get the sense he's actually some kind of wizard, rather than a cleric or an artificer. And he brings this really unnecessarily gaudy, ornate arcane weapon. It's very, very gilded and Art Nouveau and fractal all over it, and just starts hammering away. And then he summons another one. It's identical, but it's this big, and starts chinking on the individuals. And he's doing this. And I need you to give me a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand check.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's asking Zoe to apply the leather oil to the underside while he's hammering away.
12.
He rolled a 5. Cool. You manage to navigate around and kind of get in a rhythm with him. Takes you guys about 15 minutes, but you get it ready for show.
I feel like it's that one, like, master pianist and the one does, like, ting!
Very much
Ting!
that. Deep references. So you guys get that banged out. Slagan looks at you. He goes, "You've got real potentials, kid. Oh, I've got to go. I was supposed to meet the wife." He grabs it, throws it over his shoulder, tosses a bag of gold at your master, looks at you and goes, "What for you two?" And he throws you 3 gold pieces. He goes, "I'll see you in the parade. Wave if you see me. I might not see you, but what? Something." And he, for someone who walked in as rickety as he did, he runs pretty fast on the way out.
I think just that moment he leaves, Zoe is kind of... and then just turns to Conic. So, your old teacher?
Why are you calling him old?
I don't mean old. I mean as in former. As in came before the vernacular of the. He's quite spry.
Zoom out as you have that awkward conversation.
Just like
you wrap up work. You're only really supposed to be there for about 4 or 5 hours. It's a holiday.
Mm-hmm.
Even Conic. I'm going to get this man's name. Conic. Wants to get out there and see things. So around 4 o'clock, you're let go. Where do you head after that?
So, in most of her free time, when she's not scouting out places to sit for an awesome festival, she has been doing research at the Zorstar to try to discern the root of one of the reasons she was suggested to leave Candlekeep forcefully.
Can you give us a little bit?
So there was, right around the time, one of her favorite pastimes to do would be to grab any piece of historical, let's call it historical fiction, so to speak. Like, any of the old-timey, like, if you're ever familiar, like, love the Civil War fiction, historic, like, Knights in Armor, like Camelot kind of stuff like that. Tales of heroes and things like that. She loves that. She would sneak away and read a lot. And one day, when she was reading, she fell asleep, like she usually does, and she woke up with a fox sitting right in front of her. And at the same time, she looks down, and what she thought was a smudge on her finger turned out to be a small marking of a little archway. And she didn't think much of it at the time, and the fox would follow her around a little bit. Not soon after, one of the headmasters was complaining and yelling and screaming about fairies and fae and why is this archway here? And somehow she got told that the Feywild presence had been brought into Candlekeep past all of the wards and all of the guards, and it was her fault.
We'll explain the archway on her thumb.
And she still hasn't quite figured out what is going on. So she's been trying to find research on the marking on her thumb for as long as she's been able to be here, and hasn't come up with much.
Go ahead and give me an investigation check. We'll see how well her hour and a half of research she actually has today will go.
Investigation +3. Ooh, 13 + 3 16.
You get to the Zorstar, which is a magnificent granite building, humming with magical energy, racks and stacks of books. It is a bookworm's dream. One Shi's library could never. You start in a new section today. You've been looking for big things, you've been looking for tiny things, so now you have started a new search. The Fox. It's followed you, but it's not listened or obeyed. It just kind of is near and around outside wherever you happen to live. So you look for fae related to foxes, and you keep finding one word. Reynard.
Huh. Reynard. Again, like flapping through all the books. Again, here.
Stories of light trickery, finding ways of getting to the greater good outside the confines of the rules. You don't find anything on the doorway or much else. It's almost little folk tales. And before you know it, your research time at the Zorstar is up, and you head out, and Zoe takes her place just in time in the stadium, because she watches the parade as she winds her way through the city, and by the time sunset happens, she's managed to catch glimpses of what she needs to from the parade, taken a note here or two, and found her seat for the Griffin show at the end of the grand tournament.
She is like a kid at Christmas, her birthday, the circus, all in one. She has heard so many stories about the armor that the Griffins wear, the armored knights that ride the Griffins. She is just, this is like the pinnacle of watching Smithcraft.
Oh yeah,
at work.
the stadium is on fire. It's like the Super Bowl times 10. People are handing out food and drink and little magical trinkets. Kids have little things that are out there just... It's a grand old time. And the lights dim, and a long bass note, boom, echoes out over to signal everyone to take their seats and for the show to begin. And that's where we're going to end your session 0. And we'll be back with the next person. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody.